Welcome to the Data Basics section of this Beyond Formulas Excel Modeling training series. The goals of this lesson are to teach you the difference between a flat file or a database format and a summary table. I'll also teach you how to easily convert data from one format to the other, depending on your need. Specific formula or tools you will learn about are the Microsoft Data Explorer Excel add-in, including the unpivot columns feature, and an optional VBA macro section. You'll need the CarryMac Case Video 4.4 XLSB file and the Microsoft Data Explorer Excel add-in, which you can access at btrues/ms-data-explorer. By the end of this lesson, you will have created a new worksheet with the old CarryMac sales data in table format, converted into a flat file, which is not a woodwork tool, but rather a special way of structuring your data, with each cell from the table on the left-hand side of the screen represented by a unique data record or row on the right-hand side of the screen. Let's demonstrate the difference between a flat file and a table format in a simplified example. A table typically has a row header and a column header, with each data element or table cell representing a value at the intersection of the row and the column values. A flat file, on the other hand, represents each data element as a separate row, with the metadata that was previously encoded into the row and column headers now represented by separate fields or columns in the flat file, each with its own value. These two datasets are identical from a data perspective. You can tell because there are the same number of data elements, i.e. 6. A table is a simplified representation of a dataset in either 1 or 2 dimensions. But the benefits of using a flat file are that you can easily add as many columns or fields to the flat file as you like. You can insert or delete elements without interfering with the formatted table. And flat files open up a range of powerful data tools, such as pivot tables. So let's look at how real data looks in flat file format. Each row is a unique data record comprising multiple fields. Each record requires all of the fields to describe it, though sometimes some of the fields can be blank or null. The basic rule is that all values of the same type need to be in a single column. This data structure is generally used for databases, allowing for querying, and for pivot tables, which we'll get to later on in this course. Summary table formats are very different. Each data value is limited to a row and a column dimension. Summary table formats are limited to only 2 fields, a row and a column, per data value. If you request data from any source, make sure that it isn't in this format. So what do you do as an analyst if data is only available in a table form? We'll now cover how to convert between the two. If you have a Windows PC and you have administrator privileges, then you can convert data from summary tables to flat files using the Microsoft Data Explorer Excel add-in. This is an incredibly powerful and useful tool, and so I suggest you try and get it installed. Start by installing the Data Explorer add-in, which creates the new ribbon bar called Data Explorer shown on the screen. Next, you want to use Excel's table feature to turn the summary table format into an Excel table. Once that's done, you can begin the conversion process. Select From Table on the top left-hand side. Next, you'll see the Query Editor, where you need to highlight all of the columns that you want to unpivot. In this case, all of the CBSA columns. You can do this by selecting the one on the left, holding Shift, and then selecting the one on the right. Next, right-click on any one of them to bring up the menu you see here, and click Unpivot Columns. This will create a new tab with your newly formatted flat file data. If you're running Excel on a Mac, or if you can't install the add-in, you can also use this macro approach that I've created for this purpose. While this is an advanced topic, and therefore you can skip it if you like, you should be able to follow the basic steps required to get this macro running in your own workbook, irrespective of your current level. I've also included this macro in the Excel model template file, in case you'd like to incorporate it into some of your model templates. Let's walk through that process step by step. Here I have the CarryMac Case 4.4 file, which contains the Convert to Flat File macro. To access it, hit Alt and F11. This brings up the VBA editor. If not already selected, double-click on the Module 1 on the left-hand side to call up the code. Now all you have to do is select all of the code in the Convert Table to Flat File subroutine, starting at the sub and ending just below at the end sub. Copy by hitting Ctrl-C and close the window. Next, you can go into your own fresh workbook where you have a table to convert. Hit F11, then find the name of your newly created workbook on the left-hand side. In this case, since it's a new workbook, It's the one labeled Book 2. We need to insert a fresh module, which you can do by hitting Insert and hitting Module. Notice how Module 1 is added to Book 2. Finally, you'll paste the new subroutine into this page and close the window. To trigger the macro, simply place your mouse somewhere in the table, go to the Developer ribbon and Macros, and then select and run the Convert Table to Flat File macro by hitting Run. You'll notice that the macro creates the new flat file table and asks you to select the left topmost cell. I'll select B2 and hit OK. And there you have it, a beautifully converted table to flat file.